Today, we're gonna x-ray this smoker and find out exactly where the hot spots are. That's gonna be invaluable. It costs you about $2. We're gonna show you exactly how to do it. Hey, it's Jeff with BBQPlus, and today we're gonna learn a little bit more about our grill. Now, whether your grill is a pellet grill, an offset, there's gonna be certain areas inside there that cook a little bit hotter than others. So we wanna be able to understand where the hot spots are, because that way you can place the meat that you're cooking in just the right spot, maybe even rotating it partway through the cook so that you can do the best job possible. So a couple of things that we're gonna need is some white bread.
I'll have some toasted white bread, please.
$1.98, I think it was. Just the cheapest white bread that you can get. Some folks use biscuits to do this, your choice. And then we're gonna need something to be able to get the bread out. I use a pizza peel, which is pretty handy to be able to do that, but you can use the tongs as well. The whole idea is that we're gonna put the bread inside here and we're gonna lay it out. We're gonna probably start about 3 inches from the edges because you're never gonna put the meat that close anyway. We're gonna also make sure the bread is spaced out a little bit because we wanna make sure that the airflow does come up between those slices of bread. Then we're basically just gonna toast it for a while and find out which areas are darker and which areas are lighter. That's gonna tell us where the hot spots are. So I set this up for about 240 degrees. Dropped a little bit just because we had that open. You'll want to get your smoker going for a while and get that even temperature maintained. So that way you're not seeing the effects of it trying to come up to temperature, but more maintaining temperature, which is where we're at for the long cook. A couple of things we want to do also. Keep the lid closed. If we keep opening that and looking all the time, we're not going to be able to see exactly what's happening. So we're going to keep it closed as much as possible. Obviously, we're going to have to peek a little bit and take a look, but that's okay. Now you see that I've got a separate little table here on the side. What we're going to do is we're going to use that pizza peel to take the bread out and set it on here. That way it'll stop the cooking and we can analyze it. We're also going to take a photo of it and keep that photo. Maybe a printout of it is excellent, so that way you can tell long term what's going on with that. Keep it with maybe the notes for that particular smoker. I've got several smokers. Good to have a photo of what the hot spots are mapped in each one of them. It's almost like an x-ray of your smoker. So let's get started. Gonna unwrap that. Open it up here. Don't want to use those end pieces. We're gonna use the full slices. And we're just going to lay those out. Looks like we'll be able to do about 3 to a row. You know what? I'm going to go 2 to a row. So you see we've got a little bit of room in between each one of those. We've got a little bit of room front to back because that's not where you're gonna put the meat anyway. Now we're just gonna put this lid down and let it go for a little while. And then we're gonna check in on it, see that those are toasting up well. We're gonna pull them out with that pizza peel, put them on the table on the side here, and that'll give us a good look. All right, so here's where we're at. You can see that these are a little bit darker over on the right side and in the front. So that's really important to know. For full disclosure, I did find that setting this at 250 was too low. I bumped this up really high. I think we're set at about, I think we're running about 375 right now. I think 375 is probably a better idea, 375 to 400. That way you get kind of that quick heat to it, and I think that'll tell you a lot more. So I think our test is about to move to its next phase here, which we're gonna pull the bread off of here, we're gonna put it over on this little table to the side, and that's gonna give us a good idea of exactly what it looks like. Okay, so a couple of things here. I'm gonna use the pizza peel to remove it. And I'm just going to try to position them exactly the same as they were when they were in the grill. All right, so now that we've got them off the grill, we've removed them from heat, and we can spend a few minutes taking a look exactly what happened here. This is exactly the same layout as we had when we were inside the grill. You can see this definitely is darker over onto this side, lighter over onto this end. The burn pot sits right in the middle underneath, and then the hot air goes out through the chimney. So that probably means that this area does make sense that it's going to be a little bit hotter. Now we're going to flip them over and take a look at what the bottom looks like. So you can see there, again, that really shows us that this left end over by the hopper really doesn't have as much heat really on this whole half, but then this half over here gives us a lot more heat. So what we'd probably want to do is, if we're going to cook a brisket, let's say, and we wanted to have the point, which is going to be that fattier end and thicker part, which needs more rendering, we probably want that over top of more heat. You can also rotate. So partway through the cook, maybe you want to take the cool side, move it over to the warm side, and vice versa. That is definitely something you can do as well. So it's really important to know exactly what the heat signature of your grill is so that you can do this. So I would emphasize you take a photo of this and keep it nearby where your grill is, maybe even laminate it, so that way you can remember exactly where the hot spots are. Cooking it over here, yeah, that's a straight ticket to Burn Town. Over here, that's called raw meat area. Good information to have, something really simple to do. Again, costs you a couple of bucks to do this, and I think it's very beneficial. So that's the X-ray of what your pellet smoker looks like. If you find this information interesting, I'd really appreciate if you would hit me up with a subscribe on there, turn the notifications on. Hopefully this educates you a little bit more on how to use your smoker, your pellet grill, maybe it's an offset smoker, whatever the case is. Got a bunch of other videos on different techniques, different recipes. Love for you to watch them as well. Give me a like. Thumbs up on that, and if you have any comments, drop them down into the bottom. I always reply to each one of your comments, ideas, and maybe what your variation is on this X-ray of your smoker test. As always, make sure you try to figure out what you're going to cook in your backyard this weekend, and thanks for watching.